Alright, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to completely set up a vehicle for wheels and to even add some more wheels. So to start off, this vehicle just has 4 tires that are slapped on it. If you was to continue adding wheels to it, it'd be very difficult in the coding and all that stuff. So what I do is I go ahead and create myself 4 transform groups, name them to make it a little bit easier, and then I go ahead and get that ready to get put into the vehicle. Also, a little later, I'm going to show you guys one of the main vehicle wheel errors that I run into, where like one side of the wheels is facing the wrong direction, and because of that, how can I put it? The reason why it's caused is because the rotation is set on one of the wheels, so it's just a lot easier. And with this little simple trick that I do, it takes like 5 minutes. Definitely, you'll never have that issue ever again. And you can do this with any wheels, whether the vehicle's been converted over or anything like that. Alright, so once you have your wheels picked out, you're going to want to add those into the new transform groups that you just created and added to the vehicle. Also, it's really good to get into the habit of this whenever you are setting up a vehicle for the first time. Now, some vehicles, some mods will already be set up for it, but it's really good to go ahead and make sure that all your rims and all that stuff is zeroed out and do all your work towards the transform group. So that way, any wheel that you add, if it shows up underneath the vehicle like these wheels did, as soon as you take those and put them in the transform group, they'll already be where they need to be. So that way you can add, 40, 50, 60, however many wheels you want to the mod, and it's a lot quicker, a lot simpler, and you're just getting yourself pre-set up for however many wheel options you want in the future. Also, what I usually do is kind of copy the Y and Z axis over to the right side, not necessarily the X axis, because sometimes it's not spot on whenever you copy that, and you'll have to, do the negative and positive and all that good stuff. For this, since we moved around the original wheels and all that stuff, you'll have to re-update your rep nodes and your drive nodes. And also, since we're adding a new set of wheels, just go ahead and copy a line of wheels that's already in the XML or from another XML and then paste it over. Usually I use whatever was already on the vehicle, so that way the friction scales and the springs and all that good stuff stay the same and you don't have to change as much coding. And while I'm updating all these nodes and all that good stuff, I'll probably edit this little bit out just to save time and all that stuff. Also, anything that I edit out, it's just repetitive stuff like adjusting wheels or adjusting numbers and things like that you'll pretty well get the gist of. Now for this, I'm still on the screen here because I wanted to show you guys that also make sure, even though I'm copying and pasting all these little lines of coding over, you still got to go in there and change the numbers over, otherwise it still won't line up and won't pick up on the correct wheels. And also, while you're in Giants Editor, don't forget to save. It sucks when you have to go back and redo stuff. I've been there, we've all been there. And on top of that, anytime that you're swapping over a part or anything like that, now with these wheels, they didn't have dirt maps or vehicle shaders or anything like that, but always remember to update your shaders if they have any. Alright, so I noticed that our wheel coding is missing a few little bits and pieces like the name and then the object change node. And the object change node, you are going to need that coding. That's very big because it tells the wheels, get rid of these, swap to those, you know, in the middle of your game. That's how that whole thing works there if you're completely new. Now once you have the coding swapped over, again, make sure, go back and check and make sure on other vehicles or things like that, if you're adding coding and you're not quite sure where to put it, always check to see where the other mod had it to begin with, and it'll give you a rough idea. And also, once again, don't forget to update your nodes and all that stuff anytime that you're copying over coding from another vehicle, because it's always not going to be the same. So, as you can see there, that's one of the good reasons why I'm getting rid of these wheels. That's due to a rigid body and all that good stuff, but that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is to show that the wheels actually set up correctly and all that good stuff. However, you'll notice on the passenger side, it's very rare for it to happen on the driver's side, and it's usually always the passenger side for me. But either way, they'll show up facing backwards even though they look perfectly fine in Giants Editor. So, and don't mind the lagginess, that's not my actual game, that's just because it's this recording system. I don't know how to, I guess, all the way set it up, because I run Farming Simulator on max settings. My computer runs it just fine, no lag or anything like that. So, but anyway, as you can see here on the passenger side, throughout all the wonderful screenshots and pictures that we're getting here, they're facing the wrong way. And what causes that is in Giants Editor we have them rotated to 180 degrees. That way they'll face the correct way, but the game doesn't really pull them up and show them that way. Now I've seen other people in the past, they'll put in the coding is left true and all that stuff. For some reason, every single time I add that coding in, it never works for me, but instead when I do this trick, it works every time. Alright, so in Giants Editor, go ahead and go to the set of wheels that's having the issue. In this case, it's our second wheel set on the passenger side. So what I like to do is I'll go ahead and make them visible. That way they'll be showing up in the second Giants editor that we'll be pulling up. And what I always like to do is just export them in the file that you're already working in. So you'll go hit export section, you'll find the document that we're already using, which is the GT500. Title it whatever you want to, because we're not really going to be keeping it or anything like that. Once you exported it, just go to the file, pull it up, just hit freeze transformations, uncheck all that other stuff, hit rotate, and then hit apply. What that's doing is it's completely, you'll no longer need that 180 degrees, it's true facing that one direction now. And then just save, go back to the vehicle, and then import it in. And it'll be easy to find because it's already in the folder. And another reason why I export it in its own folder is so that way you don't have to re-update the shaders and textures and all that stuff that you already just did putting the wheels on. Alright, just go ahead and copy and paste the wheels over, and then just delete the old ones so that way you won't even have to update the nodes in the XML. Now notice that rear wheel, for whatever reason, it just didn't work or something like that. So what I did was I just duplicated that wheel there that's already working and turned out perfect, and I just basically duplicated that, copied and pasted, and since our X, Y, and Z's are all good on the right rear transform group, we didn't have to do anything, it slid right in. Alright, so just showing that this trick is very effective and all that good stuff, how it works in game, all that stuff, nothing's really different. Now another thing too, as you'll see, the wheel's stuck in the ground. For that's just a little bit of change in the code in the XML. It'll be the radius, which I'll show that a little later as well. Alright, so now that we're back in Giants Editor, I'll be showing you guys, now that we have the wheels and the transform group and all that good stuff set up and ready to go, I'll show you how easy it is to just pick out another pair of wheels and just put them right on in. Alright, so once you have your wheels picked out, just copy and paste them. And if you guys are really new to Giants Editor, it's a little late to tell it because it's halfway through the video. But the way you copy and paste in Giants Editor is you'll select it, Control X, and then you'll select wherever you want it to go, and then Control V. Once again, just kind of go over your wheels, eyeball them, make sure they're all lined up how they're supposed to, and also, once again, don't forget to update your shaders if they have any. This wheel set did not have any except for on the text, but just always go through and triple check and make sure, and you can always add shaders and all that good stuff later too. But for the sake of the time on the video, I'm just not doing that right now. Also, don't forget to make the wheels invisible once you're finished editing them, just so that way if you leave them visible in Giants Editor, next time you go to pull up the vehicle in game, those wheels will still be visible and will mess like everything else up. Alright, so in the XML, what I usually do whenever I add something, caps lock. What I usually do whenever I'm adding a new set of wheels is I just go ahead and copy over whatever I feel is like the best line of coding, which all these are pretty well the same because we just did them. But I find the best section of coding and just go ahead and copy that over and then paste it and then just update my nodes. In my opinion, I started off learning wheels first, and to me they're like the perfect learning grounds for your first ever edits or anything like that. They're really simple, they can make a vehicle look very nice, and once you have them down pretty much like how I do, you'll get pretty quick with it as well. Also, to fix that issue of the wheels sticking in the ground, all you gotta do is just bump up your radius. Now I wouldn't get too crazy unless like half the wheels in the ground or something like that, but for our case, as you saw, just like a little bit of the tire was in the ground. So I'm just going to update it a little bit, and I'll go ahead and update our new wheels that we just added too, just so that way they're not sunk into the ground as well. Now this is probably like the longest process because it's not going to update in Giants Edit or anything like that. You will have to just keep going back and forth with adjusting the coding and stuff like that to see where you want them in Giants Editor and how you want it to. Alright, so last visit on the test world here. I'm going to pull it up and show you guys just how the vehicle is working now and all that good stuff, if the tires are where we need them to be, all that stuff. Also, hopefully this video was pretty helpful. If you guys have any other weird wheel glitches or something like that, just go ahead and post them in the comments. I'll try to get back to them as soon as I can, or if I don't know the issue, unfortunately, I'll try to suggest some things to try or stuff like that. I don't know all the wheel errors, but I just know the ones that I've ran into and figured out how to fix. So I'll try to do my best, but there's no guarantee. I'm also going to try to put out some more videos in some free time. I'm going to try to, since I have a little bit extra time tonight, try to make another video on how to do the 30-minute convert, because I know that one's pretty popular as well. Again, I apologize for the screenshots and the very low frame rate, but as you can see, those wheels are showing up perfect. They're not facing the wrong direction or anything like that, and they're also, in my opinion, where they need to be as far as not being glitched into the ground or anything like that. Alright, well that does it for this video. You guys have a good one and happy modding.